your happiness expert. Today on How to Be Happy, you'll find out how your happiness is within your reach by making one simple choice. This is the beginning of our 5-step journey. Join me to learn the first step. Right now, your happiness is dependent on external circumstances going your way. If things are good in your life, you are happy. If things are bad in your life, you're unhappy. Your happiness goes up and down like an emotional roller coaster, or you have the illusion you will be happy in the future when you get the right person, place, thing, or circumstance just the way you want it. However, in 2006, happiness science showed your happiness only lasts 3 months if it is based on external circumstances. Unless you win the lottery, then it's 6 to 12 months. This is because you adapt to your circumstances and you want change, thus perpetuating the hedonic treadmill where you're always looking for the next thing to make you happy. Ladies, how many pairs of shoes are in your closet? Guys, how many electronic devices have you purchased in the last year? Because seeking long-lasting happiness from external sources is a failed strategy, I am introducing you to 5 steps that will help you achieve the sustained, peaceful contentment and effervescent joy you really want in your life. This is the journey of happiness from inside out. It starts with step 1, making the happiness decision. You have to take charge of your own happiness right now. No other person can create a sustained positive mood for you, deep inner contentment, or states of bliss and joy. This is an inside job. Before you do anything, you make the decision to do it. Before you wash the dishes, you decide to wash the dishes. Before you get in the shower, you decide to get in the shower. Same thing with happiness. You have to take your happiness into your own hands right now. The first step is making the happiness decision. You've already made it because you're watching this video. Now it's time to formalize it with a declaration from the founder of the Happiness Clubs worldwide, Lionel Ketchian. Lionel has sustained his happiness for greater than 20 years simply based on a 24-hour time frame where he decided to commit to the happiness decision. So here you are. Are you ready to get off your emotional roller coaster? Are you ready to stop your downward spiral and end your stress? Are you ready to start your upward spiral of lasting happiness right now? Are you with me? This is the most important decision of your life. Without happiness in your life, you are seeking happiness. With happiness in your life, the sky is the limit. Are you convinced the time is now? Take this opportunity to put your happiness first. Go to a mirror and look at yourself deep in the eyes. Put your hand on your heart and repeat after me. I, Amy, you fill in your name, do solemnly decide to adopt the happiness decision by being happy now! Rather than react to my problems, I will use happiness to respond to them, forsaking all negative thoughts. Regardless of circumstances, in all ways I will choose happiness for the rest of my sweet life! Congratulations! High five! How does it feel? Empowering? Yes, you have come a long way in a short amount of time. Now you have to sustain it. Tune in to the following 4 steps to find out how. For more great tips on enjoying a more joyful life, connect with me on Facebook and Twitter and visit happinessmakeover.com. Join us here for the next episode of How to Be Happy, where I will discuss how to create a positive mood whenever you want.
We're here right now with Amy Koje, and welcome to our show! Woohoo!
Yay! Happy to be here!
And just so you know, there might be some bubbliness, there might be some excitability, and that's just Amy. And I thought I had a ton of energy, Amy, but now I meet you, and I'm just like, wow, I wanna match your energy. So let's have an energetic time.
All right, you better get up and start jumping around.
Woohoo! Okay, jumping. There we go. Right on. Hey, so tell me, like, what is the deal? Like, you are authentically jumping, you're authentically excited. Like, what is the deal? I'm sure people are watching. It's like, what is this? Who is this person? Why are you so happy?
Are you so happy? that question, and I've made it my life's work. I'm a happiness expert. When the cat gets out of the bag, people start asking questions. And I have studied and taught happiness for about 18 years.
There's a long time. Look at you. And that's why you just have the dimple lines because you're smiling all the time.
I have a perma smile, it's true. No, I'm just kidding. I do have PMS.
Okay. There we go. That happens too. So on a recent ad on TV, I know you don't watch TV, so you probably didn't watch this ad. But they said that the average stat is that there's 50 people smile 50 times a day. Have you heard that stat before?
People smile 50 times a day.
That's what the ad said. I'm not putting any stock in it, but have you heard anything like that or any kind of stat like that before?
Well, this is the first I've heard of 50 times a day people smiling. I do know other strange statistics like our mind is wandering 47% of the time. And when our mind is wandering, we're unhappy. And that was recent Harvard research from 2008. And so I imagine that if we are unhappy or mind wandering during 47% of our life, then more than likely that smile correlation is right on.
Yeah. That's it. And you know what? I actually thought that might be high. 50 times. I walk around and there's a lot of people with like I don't know, just they're not smiling. I don't know how to describe it. But you go into a mall sometimes and it's just like, I don't know.
I'm going to start a business where people go up and tickle random strangers. You want to see more smiles? Well,
just right under here is a real good spot.
Like an 8-block radius. They'll be your zone, and your job is to go around and tickle people walking on the sidewalk. Hey, $20 an hour.
Great. I think we already broke the 50 smile rule here in the first 2 minutes of our call. So, well, that's awesome.
I've broken all the happiness records there are, I'm sure.
Yes. That's so cool. Hey, so I'm really excited about you being on our show, and a real big reason for this is because, as you know, I do coaching as well, and when I do a survey on people, like what they're looking for in life, it so often comes up happiness is like right at the top of what they're actually looking for. Why is it that people are looking for happiness?
Let me ask you this basic question. Do you want to feel good?
Yeah, definitely.
That's why.
I want to feel good. Right on. Then why are people so determined to be miserable?
We are conditioned to be unsatisfied, discontent, stressed out, multitasking, out of this moment, egoic, and constant achievers. And all of those things disalign with your true, deep inner contentment in your heart.
That's right. So, I'm going to play the devil's advocate on you, okay?
I always love that and invite
you love
it.
that? Okay. Mm-hmm. But Amy, you don't know how hard my life is.
Right. Well, I guess I could share a personal story. I have been fat, ugly, poor, divorced, and live in chronic pain and have had PTSD and overcame it. And so whatever your problems are, I can beat them. And say that I have overcome them all.
Okay, but you don't know that my spouse cheated on me, and I just have so many issues with trust, and I could never come to that place again.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to take a step back and ask you to see beyond yourself for a moment and invite you into a question of, do you want to see peace on?
Sure, I want to see peace on earth.
Okay. And if there were people who achieved peace on earth, you would think that there would be paradise earth, maybe, and people may be laughing and smiling.
Okay, sure.
So if you wanted to be the change that you want to see in the world, would you be willing to learn how to be happy and by using happiness science in your life, no matter what your circumstances are?
I just don't know if I'm ready. I think that it's more about me just not trusting.
Okay, well, do you trust yourself?
I guess. Trying to stay in character.
That was not very convincing. So, what I want to prove to you is that ultimately your misery is not working for you and it's not working for your loved ones, and it is the antithesis of you feeling better now. And whatever you want to identify it as trust or your wife cheating or your reason you want to put before your happiness, never learned happiness science before.
Okay. All right. I'm open now.
Oh, and why are you open?
Well, where I'm living is not that happy. How's that?
Hmm. Well, your only option is change, right? I mean, how long do you want to feel unhappy? How much longer do you need to prolong your own suffering? The first way to break free of your suffering is to choose happiness now, no matter what is going on. You have to take charge of your own happiness, no matter what your issues are, and you will become happier. But this is absolutely the first step, although you have to know what to do once you achieve taking ownership of yourself.
Right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to come out of character here now, and I'm going to come back into Scott App mode. So thank you for that. Because people have real issues, right? And there's a real issue. So thank you for just enlightening us with that real issue. So yes, this is awesome.
Please, Scott, you have to know, by the time people come to see a happiness expert, they've done it all, seen it all, read it all, gone to all of the workshops, been to India. They have had all of the traumas that you can't even imagine yourself. Right. And they become happier after learning. It's really spectacular. Yes, yes, yes!
Yeah! Okay, so they've gone through all these traumas, they've gone through all these things, right? They've come to a happiness workshop with you, and you bring them through a bunch of things, and I saw some clips on your website, phenomenal stuff, happinessmakeover.com, we'll get into that again later, but what is it that really happens? Like, where does the change really happen for people? So they've come, so they're obviously open. But where does the change happen?
Well, what we're talking about here is the Happiness Makeover Leadership Training Program that is 3 months. It is intensive, where you are aware of every word, every moment, every thought, every action, every dream that you have for, not to mention all the other things, in 3 months. So this is basically a transformative process where people they come in anywhere on the scale of 0 to 10 on the happiness scale. And ultimately, it takes me up to 4 to 6 weeks to get someone to a 10, and then we sustain it from there. However, when the trigger moment occurs of, oh my gosh, my happiness is in my own hands, that is when there's hope. When there's hope that happiness is in my own hands, I know what to do. It's no longer my spouse's issue, my bank account issues, the IRS issue, my boss's issue, the guy on the road's issue. It's mine, and I know what to do. And here's the step-by-step manual, happiness science that works for people over and over again. That's when the change occurs. And I've had clients sustain their happiness for years and years and years.
Right on. Very cool. So you are super pumped. You're super passionate about this. This is like life-changing for you. What was the change moment for you? Like, where was the transformation for you where you said, okay, I want to be a happiness coach? Was there something that happened in your life that you just said, hey, this is for me?
I was singing in the shower.
I'm so glad we didn't rehearse our questions, Amy. This is great.
I was at a point where everyone comes. I was 19 years old, and I was standing in front of college going, what am I going to do with my life? What do I care about? What are the changes I want to see in the world? What am I good at? What do I have endless energy for? What is the change I want to see in the world? What is going to get me out of bed every day with a smile on my face? And what I came up with was, I live happier lives. And that was going to get me out of bed every day. I mean, I knew I'm going to be hours a week for the rest of my life, so I better like it.
You better.
Very conscious in, what I wanted to steer my efforts toward. And when I had that grand epiphany, okay, fine, I'm going to help millions of people live happier lives. Then the second epiphany was like, how the heck am I going to do that?
Yeah.
There were no happinessexpert.com at that point. And I thought that I could make this change, this impact, through helping people be happy at work. Because at that point, I have yet to hear anyone say, yay, it's Monday!
Woohoo!
So in my undergrad, I studied industrial and organizational psychology, work, employee happiness. And my first job out of college was a happiness coordinator on a trading floor. Woo!
All right.
It was terrible when I started, and a few years afterwards, the group grew 4 times, made 4 times the amount of money, and nobody quit. And it was there that I realized it was the leadership that influenced everybody else's happiness. Because if your leader is unhappy, good luck!
Right, yeah.
And so in graduate school, I had a focus of leadership. And in 2003, I found the science of happiness. Woo! Ding, ding,
All right.
ding, 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 ding. And this was a dream come true. Woo!
Woohoo!
Woo! Even though it was introduced in 1998, I found it in 2003 because the first book was published from the University of Michigan Business School, taking positive psychology concepts and applying them in organizational settings. And so at that point, active in the positive psychology community, and I was very excited about it. And then in 2006, I invented the Happiness Makeover.
Right on. Cool. So let's talk about the happiness makeover, the 5 steps in a bit here. I love what you just shared. So you not only had the aha moment, the this is my passion, this is my why, but you tangibly said, okay, well, I need to do these steps, and you figured it out and you pushed. It sounded like you really had resilience as well to actually push through some of that at the beginning. And that's a common topic that we talk about here in abundance coaching. So from your perspective, how did you need to be resilient in the beginning from an entrepreneurial standpoint?
Resiliency is my first name, my middle name, my last name, all put together.
All right.
Resiliency is a crux in sustainable happiness. Otherwise, you are down and the world is choking you like this.
Yes.
And I was fortunate to have grown up in athletes from a young age, and I believe that like winning attitude, that work hard to achieve your goals, like don't let anyone stop you, that don't take no for an answer, go go go, like that type of attitude starting from age 6 was really instilled in me. And even though I've definitely had, like, every day is uncertain. So every day is uncertain. So if I'm living with every day is uncertain and I'm the only one bringing in my money, I am going to go on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. I have no time to sit around and say, woe is me, especially if I'm in charge of my own happiness. So optimism, realistic optimism, is really, really huge when it comes to resiliency. I have come at this point, and trust me, this is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hurdles into it, to see every hurdle as just a part of the process. Another step to getting closer, another opportunity to learn something new. And that is, how the essence of a successful entrepreneur. There's no way you're going to continue if I listen to someone who tells me that it can't be done.
Yeah.
In fact, I just talked to a venture capitalist who go bankrupt. I want to invest in your company, and here, let me call all my friends.
Woo! I beat you to the woo.
So there, I've had national TV stations say no to me. I've had, whatever you can imagine is an obstacle. I've had getting a PhD. There's no way. Do you know how many times I've been said no to? Years upon years upon years. People say, do it again, do it over, do it different. You did it wrong. Do this, blah, blah, blah. This is just the nature of the game. And we're all learning. It's called life. And I have yet to meet a perfect individual who does everything perfect the first time. And so once we accept that we're constant progress, then, that idea of resiliency or bouncing back doesn't even actually play into this game, because you're just learning and growing.
Right. Okay. So the term, I love this conversation, by the way, and I think that this will really tie into your 5 keys when we get to them. One thing that I often find is that people are looking to get unstuck. They have this term, the word stuck comes up. I don't know, do you find that too? I'm in Canada, maybe it's different here, but the word stuck is like so popular. Like when I poll my clients or people come in just like, hey, I don't know my direction, I don't know my purpose, I'm stuck. Mm-hmm. So how do people get unstuck? Like what do you say, or how do you coach somebody through the process of getting unstuck?
Mm-hmm. Well, I put them in happiness training. Day 1, things change. And so here's my philosophy on getting yourself stuck in the first place. That means that you are in analysis, over-analysis, paralysis. And so you are disconnected from the truth in your heart, and you are uncertain of your priorities in life, and you have given yourself the stuckness. And so when you actually question your heart with deep things like, who am I, or what is my purpose in life, things like that, then you have clarity. And with clarity, you become motivated. And with motivation, you become unstuck.
Right on. That's almost right, exactly in alignment with how I do it too. You need to start off with clarity, and without clarity and knowing where you are, it's very important to start there. So that's very cool. All right, so I want to dive into some of this fun stuff. And just so you know, we're going to introduce Samia on our show here. And we have a recorded interview from Samia, and we're going to show that here in just a second. But before we get into that, I want you to cover with me, if you don't mind, the 5 keys to happiness. So I know what they are because I have them written right in front of me, and I've done some research on you. And I watched your great video, by the way, on the show, and we'll show that to the audience here too. The video where you're in the shoe store and all that stuff. So, would you like to tell us the first step and why it's so important? And we'll go through the 5 steps.
Why are the 5 steps important?
Sure. No, just tell us about the first step. Like, these are the steps to create happiness.
Yes, first I need to create an appreciation for your audience. These 5 steps, because after 18 years of diving into subject matter, to be able to deduce happiness steps is absolutely groundbreaking and phenomenal, and getting long-lasting results. So who are really like looking for happiness, if you really work these 5 steps, they're going to work for you. And so I'm not here to BS you or anyone. And these 5 steps have worked over and over again. And as far as I'm concerned, these 5 steps are like the algebra that makes up calculus. These 5 steps are the arithmetic that make up algebra. And so once you learn these things, these concepts, you can, in fact, sustain your happiness so it's no longer a mirage, an illusion, or something out of your grasp. This is all about taking ownership of your own happiness from. So with that,
yes.
Step 1.
Right on. Step 1. You're prepared? You're ready to go? Thank you for introducing that and for setting the stage for the audience. And thank you so much for coming today. This is all for you. And go for it. Step 1.
Everybody starts here. No matter who you are, where you're at, what your situation is, everyone starts here. And with empowerment. Making the happiness decision. You decide to wash the dishes before you wash the dishes. You decide to take a shower before you shower. You decide to get married before you get married. You decide to go to college before you go to college. Same thing with happiness. I need to decide to do something different. I need to decide to put my happiness into my own hands right now. And there is even a formal declaration that you and I, Scott, can make right now. And the viewers who are ready for this.
I'm ready for it.
You are ready to end your misery and suffering once and for all. Let's get this together. Look at yourself in the mirror. Put your hand on your heart. This is the biggest decision of your life. Amy.
I feel it.
Amy. You say your name.
I, Scott,
Do solemnly decide
do solemnly decide
to adopt the happiness decision
to adopt the happiness decision
by being happy now
by being happy now
rather than react to my problems.
rather than react to my problems.
I will use happiness to respond to them,
I will use happiness to respond to them,
forsaking all negative thoughts,
forsaking all negative thoughts,
regardless of circumstances.
regardless of circumstances.
In all ways, I will
And always I will
choose happiness
choose happiness
for the rest of my sweet life.
for the rest of my sweet, awesome life. Woo! Woo!
Standing ovation.
All right. And for you, standing ovation to you. Wonderful. All right.
How do you feel?
I feel awesome. I do. I can't. I'm too authentic to fake smiles, just so you know. So, yeah, this feels good. It's real for sure.
This is empowerment. This is how it feels to be in control over your own happiness. And now we just need to sustain it with
All right.
the following 4 steps.
Okay, let's do it. So we're gonna sustain it with the next 4. All right.
Are you sure you want to know?
I know. I know. They want to know. I know they want to know. Don't you? You're in your audience chair right now, and you're probably standing up, or maybe you're not. Maybe you should be, but you're saying, "I want to know the next 4." I'm sure you are.
Yeah, you're feeling great. You just made that happiness decision. You want to keep this happiness. And so the way you do that is by implementing a happiness science practice into your day-to-day experience. Morning routine, daytime routine, and sleep routine happiness boosting techniques. And so this routine system is going to create and has been mathematically proven in happiness science that when you experience 3 to 1 positive to negative emotional experiences, your life goes into an upward spiral. And so the happiness interventions that are made up in the routine system have been proven to increase your happiness. So these interventions increase your positive emotional experience, so you're no longer on the ups and downs roller coaster of life. You are in your upward spiral, and you are in control
Right
of
on.
happiness for the first time in your life. And you know over 30 different exercises that you could do in any given moment to boost your mood. Step 2 is positive mood. How do I control my positive mood? How do I boost my positive mood? What do I do to get into a positive mood? How do I have a consistent, sustainable positive mood? And that is through having a new morning routine, daytime routine, and sleep routine of happiness boosting techniques. Woo!
Woo! There we go. So you're all about the morning, daytime, and evening routine, and whatever you need in the moment. If you feel like, hey, my mood's dropping, I need to pull up one of these tools, techniques. Boom! It's right there. Okay.
Well, the thing is, when bad things happen outside of your control, I do recommend that you go to step 3, which is resiliency, and there are a number of happiness challenge tools in this category, whereas the positive mood category is really just to boost your mood whenever you want, and you can definitely use those in times of challenge. However, it's important to confront the challenge in the moment by using a various challenge tools outlined in the book.
All right. Woohoo! And just so you know, we're getting to the book later. You'll get your chance to get it. Okay, cool. So, All right, let's go back to this. I do visualizations in the morning. I have something I've pre-written. I sometimes do something a little bit different than what I've written, but I'm in habit in the morning of reading my vision. That's what I do. And that helps me a lot. But are you suggesting something even different or even at a different level than that?
Well, visualizing your vision for life is really good unless you are in a bad mood. If you're in a bad mood, having this visualization, it's going to be hard to manifest that visualization for you. It's going to be easier when you're in the highest vibration of life, of love and happiness, and that's where you can attune into the law of attraction more than ever. And so the morning routine that I recommend involves smiling, setting the intention for today to be the happiest day of your life, having 5 Duchenne smile push-ups, a laughter practice, an effervescent joy practice, a singing practice, and a gratitude practice. And so doing less than 5 minutes of these routines will actually increase your mood for a few hours.
Wow.
And so this practice will guarantee you a mood for up to, and then you have a different.
Woohoo! Okay, this is cool. This is really good. Okay, so number 2 is positive mood. Wonderful. So we need to get in the positive mood, ladies and gentlemen, and the tools that Amy's talking about can be found in her book. We're going to step number 3. You talked briefly on it. Can you tell us more about resiliency? What does it mean? What does this mean here, step 3?
Step 3! Without resiliency, it's going to be hard. Basically, everyone has that left hook of life that we have to deal with.
Yeah, that's right.
How many times a day do you have to deal with this? You know?
Yes.
And there are people who have to deal with this all day. So, are you going to give your happiness away every time you get one of these? Absolutely not. You're going to respond to your circumstances with happiness, just like in the happiness decision that we just made. See, step 1, empowerment, making the happiness decision, has 2 sink or swim options. 1 is responding to your circumstances with happiness. Good luck. Number 2, forsaking all negative thoughts. Good luck. These 2 things here are skills built over time with finesse and persistence and discipline. And once you are able to overcome your challenges, so your challenges are no longer challenges and they're part of your path, and in fact, you're laughing at your happiness challenges, that's when you mastered resiliency.
Oh, right on. Very cool, very cool. So, I like to talk about boxing too in my thing, and the whole Rocky theme is always part of me. So, in one of the movies, Rocky is in a scene with his son, and I love talking about this, and for the people that watch the show, you've heard me talk about it in the past, but when his son is negative about how Rocky is taking the scene, he's older and he's going to go out and he's going to fight again, he's really just getting mad at his dad for just standing out there and wanting to actually do this last thing because of the shadow that he's basically thinking that he's walking in. And Rocky just goes to him, he says, hey, listen, you, me, and nobody's going to hit as hard as life, but it doesn't matter how hard you get hit. It matters that you get back up and you keep on going, because that's how winning's done.
How many winners have lost?
Yeah. So true.
Losing is part of winning.
It's very true. Yeah. That's totally true. Huh. And you know what? This is, I think, a fact. Is that the people who win the most also fail way more than the people that don't win at all or just win fewer times. Is because they actually just keep on getting back up. They just have a way of getting back up faster.
There is one successful skill in entrepreneurship that is a must, and that is persistence. And without resiliency, you'll never have persistence. And so success will never come to anyone without persistence. And that starts with resiliency. And of course, it starts with you taking ownership of your own happiness, because that's what the first step is anyways. You have to bounce back up. The world does not have you down like this. You have yourself down like that. And so until you can change your own mind about things, you're going to keep suffering.
That's right. Oh, thank you, Amy, for coming. This is awesome. Let's go on. Number 4. Tell us about number 4.
4, deep inner contentment, sense of fulfillment in your heart. Oh. Contentment, eudaimonia. EUDAIMONIC. Eudaimonic happiness. This is sustainable. It is peace of heart and peace of mind. Contentment is a different experience than hedonic or emotional happiness. It's a different type of happiness, eudaimonic happiness. And a eudaimonic happiness comes from our heart. And I like to use the acronym MAPS.
MAPS.
Heart-based MAPS. Following our heart-based MAPS. MAPS is meaning, authenticity, purpose, and strengths. So if you are connected into your life through your heart-based maps, who am I? What is my life's purpose? How does that provide me with meaning? What are my strengths that I can use every day easily? Then you will feel a deep inner contentment, sense of fulfillment here, which therefore creates peace of mind here. And that is one of the best places we can be.
Wow. Whoa. I don't know if you got hit with that. That is awesome. So, even for me, I'm the coach here, and I'm taking this in for myself. This is great. I love the acronym. You came up with this acronym too? This is a great acronym. Authenticity, purpose, strength, or meaning, authenticity, purpose, and strengths.
I did come up with it. This is based in research done out of the University of New York, Rochester, New York, Dr. D.C. and Ryan, when they were theorizing about eudaimonia. And to achieve it, when you have your maps, what differentiates my work between everybody else's work is that it helps you in a sustained fashion. And so the exercises that I utilize help you develop eudaimonia that you can always have. Because once you know it, you always have it. Once you are engaged with your maps, only if you disengage with your maps, that contentment will go away. So as long as your heart-based maps are engaged in your life, then ta-da! You will have eudaimonia. Yay!
Okay, so let's get more practical here. People look for meaning all the time, and they don't find it. And people ask the question, the biggest question probably that's out there, who am I? All the time, and they don't find an answer for it.
Let's do an exercise, Scott.
Go for it.
All right. In the next 2 minutes, you are going to get in touch with your heart and hear your heart's highest calling in life, which is your life's purpose. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready? They said they're ready. Okay.
The audience at home, you can do this too. So what we're about to do is find out your life purpose in the next 2 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Commercial break. Just kidding. Okay.
Okay. And this is next week's episode. To be continued.
Okay, so here we go. I'm going to guide you into a self-meditative state. Actually, before I do that, I want to prove to you the voice in your heart. And by proving to you the voice in your heart, I want to ask you two questions. The first question you're going to answer off the top of your head. Whatever comes to mind, just answer. Ready? Are you ready?
Yep. The first question
What did you do today?
I met with Victor.
Anything else?
I enjoyed my drive through the city that I live in Saskatoon.
Anything else?
I had a wonderful, amazing interview with Dr. Amy.
Woo! Anything else?
Yeah, certainly. I woke up and I got to sleep in with my wife.
Anything else?
My son came in and woke us up in the morning, and he was ready to take on the day.
Anything else?
I was ready to go. I was smiling. I very much enjoyed the first part of my day, just almost in solitude, and I did some office work.
Anything else?
I felt peace and contentment.
Anything else?
I felt smiling. I smelled joy. I felt joy.
Anything else?
I felt a little bit of tension over one particular situation that had to do with family.
Anything else?
I felt like I loved my life. I felt like I told my wife the same thing, actually, that I love my life.
Anything else?
I can feel a warm smile right now, just like in my heart.
Anything else?
That's what's coming to me right now.
All right, so this was very interesting because normally people, you go through the shower and you did have a little bit of that. And then when I ask people from the heart place, what did you do today? It's normally about those feeling types of things like you said. And so for me to be with you now, it seems to me that you are good at integrating yourself and your mind, heart, consciousness together. However, as a exercise to formally guide you into your heart space, ask you a question, ask you to repeat the question to yourself, to your heart. When you hear your heart's voice speak, then you open your mouth with the answer to the question. Are you ready?
Okay, so sorry, repeat it again, not just for me, but for them.
To yourself. You repeat it to yourself. I'm going to tell you what the question is after I guide you. Then you're going to repeat it to yourself. Wait for the answer to come from your heart. Open your mouth only when you know it's coming directly from your heart. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, both feet on the ground, deep breath, eyes are closed, one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Another deep breath. Drop your awareness into your heart center. Focus your attention in the area of your heart. Focus on creating an all loving, all nurturing, all accepting, open environment there, like you have a child at your chest, and tell me when that's been achieved.
Yes.
Allow your heartbeat to come through your chest to the palm of your hand. Tell me when you can feel your heartbeat.
Yep.
I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to repeat the question to yourself. Wait for a response to come from your heart. And the question is, what did you do today?
I love my life.
Anything else? And wait for the response.
I enjoyed that I woke up late and I got to hold my wife early in the morning.
Anything else?
I embrace the fact that my 3-year-old son came into the room and wanted us to just wake up right away.
Anything else?
I had a consciousness of just happiness as the morning continued.
Anything else?
I felt like I was just being. I was just in the moment. My mind was in the moment today.
Keep your awareness there and go ahead and ask to yourself, to your heart. Wait for the response.
I feel my heart just saying, Scott, you're amazing. My awareness is at that place right now.
Anything else and wait for the response.
I just see like an eye just saying it as if it's like the awareness of what I need to do. It's like a big eye that I'm almost prophetically seeing, just that to open my eyes up to even see myself more deeply.
Anything else?
Yeah, there's a lot of peace around that.
Anything
But
else?
it's also as if to also share with me that I needed to go to a place of me more. I'm continuing with that thought, so I think that looking this big eye is looking into me, so it's like the inward look, like looking more at me as I manifest these things for myself and create more my own destiny and my own life, I suppose. So it's an inward look instead of always exuding out. It's that inward thing.
Keep your awareness there and ask to yourself, to your heart, is there anything your heart wants to tell you, and wait for the response.
Yeah, I feel like it's telling me that, keep on seeking me, as in like keep on seeking God, and just to be in present, like to be in the present.
When you're ready, you can bring your awareness back to me.
I am, yeah. I'm ready. I'm here. Wow, that was cool.
I can tell you're feeling a sense of eudaimonia inside.
Yeah, yeah. That's really cool. That's cool. It's very good.
Describe your eudaimonia from your heart. Put your hand on your heart and describe your eudaimonia.
Well, it's very spiritual, so I'd have to say that coming from a strong faith base, that really came through law. Like, that's the biggest thing. But it was the faith, instead of just like the striving faith that sometimes we get into, it was the contentment faith. Just like to be content. And that's sort of how my mood is just right now. Like, I'm happy in that contentment. It's not like the woohoo, I'm excited contentment. It's the, like, when I breathe in and out, there's like no tension. That kind of feeling.
Step 4! Yay!
Right on! Cool. Very cool. Very cool.
Go to step 5 because I have step 5 is bliss and joy.
Woo! First of all, for you, if you didn't do that for yourself, that was awesome. So what you might want to do is just replay that part and even like close your eyes or turn off your video screen. Yeah. Do it. Whew.
You have to do the work to get the result.
That's right.
Come out of the air. It starts with you talking to your heart and asking those deeper questions.
Yeah.
So bliss and joy comes from spirituality. This is something greater than yourself, whatever you want to call it. And so when you tap into the divine being that you truly are, that is when you can experience the highest of high levels of deep elation and joy.
Woo! All right.
So this is achieved through going to church, meditating, yoga, nature, anything it takes to connect into the oneness.
Nice. I didn't read that number 5 when I answered that question. You know that, right? I was just going for what I was feeling. So, wow.
So you, in fact, felt a little bit of a combination of eudaimonic and charonic happiness. So charonic happiness is bliss and joy, spiritual connection. Contentment is the connection into our soul through our heart. So you had the eudaimonic, charonic experience of both together.
Woo!
And that's what we saw. That's what we
Right
saw.
on.
We saw that. This was on camera.
Right on. Hey, you got me, everyone. That's a
He's
first on
having
Abundance
now.
Coaching TV.
All right, Scott, you have me for 2 more minutes.
Oh, that's it. Awesome. Hey, you know what? I just think that this has been amazing, and the whole interview has just been enlightening and inspirational. Amy, how can we find out more from you, like from anybody? Like, how can you find out more? I'm sure they want to know about your book, your new book. Tell us all about it.
happinessmakeover.com. 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 Of course, I'm on all of those: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and all that. And Scott, thanks for having me here today. And all of you out there are smart for listening to Scott talk about abundance and how you can manifest what you want in life. Keep listening to him. And if you want to know more about sustainable happiness or happiness in general, how to be happier, train other people on how to become happier, make a living being a happiness coach, or if you want Happy Couples program or Office Happiness Makeover or downloadable products, happinessmakeover.com. Happinessmakeover.com. Believe it or
Woohoo!
not, I'm not trained in sales or marketing.
There you go. But people,
All right, you
people
guys.
gravitate towards your happiness. Hey, it's been awesome.
Hug.
There we go.
Mm.
So as we sign you off, I'm going to show an interview of one of your clients. And Sammy is going to just share just a testimony of what she's experienced as a result of you coaching her. So I'm going to show you that for the audience as we sign off. But until we chat again, live with passion and have abundance in life. We show Abundance Coaching TV every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Pacific, and 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Live with passion and have abundance in life.
And welcome back here to Abundance Coaching, and I'm here live with Samia Bano. Welcome to the show here, Samia.
Hi, Scott. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. It's great to have you on our show. And Samia, the reason why I've asked you to be on our show is, first of all, because you're great at partnering, and you called me and you said, well, Scott, is there a way for us to partner together or do something together, because both of us are in a similar network through Ted McGrath. And you got my mind thinking about, okay, well, how could I work together with Samia? And I thought about the possibilities, and then you introduced me to Amy Koje. And now that I've really got into Amy's network and I love what she's doing and also how happy she is, it's great to just be in this space here with you and also interview you, Samia.
Thank you, Scott. I'm so glad that we were able to connect and start thinking of ways how we could support each other.
Yeah, certainly. So right now this message is all about the audience. It's all about you watching the audience. And for the people that are watching us right now, I'm sure that there's a lot of things that are going on in their mind because they were inspired by the topic, how to live happy. And they're like, okay, they might have some skepticism about this whole happy thing. Because, you know, life is full of a lot of chaos and a lot of things that stir us, right? Mm-hmm. So what's your take on happiness? Like, is it really possible to have happiness?
Absolutely. You know, I am a survivor of child sexual abuse. So this was a trauma that I went through when I was 8 years old. And you can imagine going through something like that. My number one driving need at 8 years old was literally achieve inner peace. And fast forward 22 years, and now I'm happy. You know, I have that inner peace that I craved. And, you know, I have not only managed to recover from the trauma of child sexual abuse, but I've actually gone to a place of thriving. So I'm doing better than I even was before I experienced that abuse. So I absolutely believe that happiness is a very real thing, and it's something we can all achieve.
Yeah, well, thank you for being real about what happened to you and where you were and in that part of the story too. And was it hard for you to share that story the first time?
It was very difficult. Actually, I did not tell anyone about what had happened to me for at least 12 years. And then when I told the first person, that was one of the that was my first real big breakthrough. Because once I was able to tell that one person, it felt like this burden had lifted off my soul. And suddenly this was something that I could choose to tell or not tell, to talk about or not. And it didn't have to be the deep, dark secret that I could not talk about anymore. Yeah. So that was huge.
Wow. I just hear that just for the audience, I don't know if the audience is just resonating right now, but I'm sure I am. Just that point of being able to like choose to tell it. That's powerful. Powerful. So let's face it, there's people in the audience right now that are victims in other ways as well. And some of them might be watching this right now and then can relate to your story, unfortunately. and other people are feeling like they're a victim of life's hardships in other ways, death, sickness, illness, perhaps making really terrible decisions when they're younger that have affected other people's lives, or selfishness, or potentially even like debt problems that have really caused them to be, feel like they're at a desolate place. So what would you say in the midst of those kind of hardships? What would you say to some of those people?
Yeah, this is one of the lessons that I also learned with Dr. Amy, that no matter what your circumstances are, we have the power to choose happiness for ourselves. And you do this by taking responsibility for where you're at. And what I have learned about responsibility is that it's not about blaming anyone, not even yourself. Rather, it's about recognizing that you are responsible. You're able to respond no matter what your circumstances are, to move forward and create change. And so once you find that power within yourself, because it's already there, but sometimes we forget, or we lose touch with that part of ourselves. And so once you find that within yourself, then, that's the first step. And you're able to start moving yourself forward.
Yeah, that's excellent. Wow, there we go. So I feel at a freeing place just like having this conversation with you. So tell me about what you do. Tell me about what you do with like happiness coaching. I understand, and I've been at your website, Be Happy and Thrive. So what does that mean, to be happy and thrive?
Right. So, for me, as a survivor of child sexual abuse, like I said, my mission in life at 8 years old became to achieve inner peace. And as I went on my journey to achieving inner peace, I came to realize that, it can't be just all about me. For a long time, I was just focused on myself, just surviving, just getting through my trauma. But I started to recognize as I was healing that I'm part of an interconnected, interdependent whole. And so my happiness is affected by what's going on for the people around me, by what's happening in the environment around me. And as I started to reach out to help other people in whatever little ways that I could, it helped me to start to get a sense of power and control back in my own life. Because there are so many things in my life that I could not control. But if I could maybe help someone, be a little happier or be at more peace in whatever little way that I could manage, that helped me to feel a sense of power and control. And so, again, just progressing through my own journey of healing, I was like, what? It makes me really happy when I'm able to help other people be happy.
Yeah.
And I have this tendency to take things a little literally. So I was like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to learn how to help other people be happy. And so I went and I studied psychology. I found Dr. Amy, signed up with her, as my happiness coach. And so she could teach me how to teach other people how to be happy, and that's what I'm doing now. And while, I'm happy to work with anyone who needs my services, I'm particularly passionate about helping survivors of abuse achieve inner peace and be happy and thrive in their lives.
Oh, that's excellent. That's amazing. So before we get into how people can find you, I have another really important question for you. And it's so important for me. I'm actually surveying people all around, and if anybody wants to partake in this survey, they can go to my website, abundancecoaching.ca/topic, TOPIC. And why I want to survey this is I want to get hundreds of responses to find out what people are really looking for in life. Mm-hmm. So here's the question that I ask in the survey. It's a short, simple survey. And here's the question. What are you looking for in life, Samuel?
To love and be loved.
Yeah. There you go. Excellent. To love and be loved.
Yes.
Deep breath on that one, isn't it? That's awesome. Very cool. So, Samia, let us wrap this up and tell us how your audience and our audience can connect up with you, and how can we find you?
Sure. One of the best ways to get in touch with me is just go to my website. That's www.behappyandthrive.com.